Okay, hello everybody, and it's us again. I'm joining us from the sprawling metropolis of Cape Town, and Bryan is joining us from the sprawling metropolis of Hermanus. And you're muted. Oh, but that was planned. I think I just dropped Bryan in, and he wasn't quite ready to start yet. So, hello everybody. Welcome to Whisky Friday with Gideon and Bryan. Bryan is obviously having. Hello, Bryan. Can you hear me? He did hear me just now, and it seems that Bryan may have glitched out on a technicality again. But let me just WhatsApp him. We're off to a flying start on Whisky Friday today. Hello, Bryan. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hello, Dean. Hello, Paul. Hello, Mr. Punisher. And I literally spoke to Bryan backstage like a second ago, and hang on, is he? I think Bryan lost us. Let me phone him, and I can do this live on air. I think he's having connectivity problems because, yeah, I definitely think Bryan's having connectivity problems. Let's check how bad they are. Oh, there you are. You're back.
I'm going to try coming back in.
Okay. Well, Bryan's going to try come back in. While he's busy doing that, thank you to everybody that wanted to order this from me and that have ordered this from me. The dummy rounds. Now, what these are, lots of people have asked me what the point is of them. They're dummy rounds. So you can use them as a snap cap, but it's far better to use it as a dummy round, which is a training aid. And you use it to practice stoppages, failures, all this sort of stuff in your live fire practice routine. So difficulty, it's 170 for 10. Difficulty is getting it to people with the courier fees. So we like to, put people together. So send me an email. It's on the ad, and I will do my best to sort you out. And here's Bryan back.
Hello.
Yes,
sorry.
Finally. What happened there?
I don't know if it's my children using their Xbox and sucking up all my bandwidth, but I've shouted and screamed at them. So hopefully they'll stop doing that. Whatever it was. Hopefully it won't happen again. Either that or it's just the crappy rain service delivery, right? Rain. This is not an endorsement.
Are you in rain? I was about to say, well,
yes.
You're endorsing something else on your head there, which is good. We like.
Yes, I'm endorsing one of my favorite businesses, Wild Medics. There, it's covering up the bald spot, but Wild Medics, they're freaking awesome.
They are freaking awesome. And while you were away, well, you weren't really away. You were away coming back. I just explained to people about this thing. This is not a suppository. It has an entirely different purpose.
Disappointing.
Yeah, but we'll talk about sex aids in a moment because I've got one to show you.
Anything is a suppository if you're brave enough.
If you push it hard enough. As usual, we don't have a script. We've got a whole bunch of stuff to talk about because they're fun.
Oh, hang on, wait. We need to have a drink first before we start.
Really?
And this is to have another one. This is to Marika Willemse. I think I was checking in the comments. Apparently, they're not allowed to drink at work. I can.
Our favorite purple cow. And Paul asks me, how does it feel to be unemployed? And it feels it feels amazing, Paul. It's a weight off my shoulders.
Is that official now?
It's official. I feel like a new human being.
Mango.
Heine is asking what we're drinking. I'm still on the good stuff. I'm
still on the shit stuff.
James King. It's 12 years old. I really like it. Are you still
like 12 minutes old? It's finished now.
There's nothing wrong with 3 ships, Bryan.
No, there isn't, right? But here's what it isn't. My favorite whiskey is still Kilbeggan. However, I'm in Hermanus now, as I think people who know me.
I told them. Yeah, I told them while you were away.
Yes. So, but I'm amidst sort of emigrating, right? And so I'm in a temporary little place here in Hermanus, and I cannot find Kilbeggan whiskey in any bottle store. It's the weirdest thing.
Why? Or just
I don't know, right? It's one. I mean, listen. To be fair, even when I was staying in Cape Town, it wouldn't be at every bottle store. You'd have to look around a little bit. But it's well worth it if you can get hold of it, and if you enjoy Irish whiskey, which is whiskey with an E, get some Kilbeggan. It's really good. So try that. Just hang on one second. I need to throw something at my eldest boy, who's decided to put a kettle on whilst we're talking, even though I asked him expressly not to.
Okay.
And hopefully he'll catch the hint and turn it up.
No. Well, while we're talking about children, so I don't know if you saw Ramon's video. Okay, first disclaimer, don't have them from Bryan. But secondly, if you do have them, would you like your children to inherit stuff from you when you die?
Oh, I read old Pierre's little missive. That guy is such a twist. He gets like one thing right, and they were saying the regulations are unconstitutional, which they are, right? And then he goes off on this idiotic tangent. It's like, oops, I found my meds. I took them. I became sane for a second, and then I lost them again because.
To be honest, Pierre was always a collectivist retard. I mean, and I see Magnus Haystack tore him a new bumhole on Twitter because of it.
Magnus is brave going down towards that bumhole, but okay.
I was about to say, so for those in the audience who don't know what we're talking about, so Pierre de Vos is obviously gay and he's childless, which means that he
listen. Just hang on, right? I have zero issue with him being gay.
No, same.
Bravo being childless.
No, that's the thing. It's got absolutely bugger all to do with his sexual orientation, but it's got everything to do with the fact that he obviously has no skin in the game. And he's a political ideologue. He really likes this angle of centralized control and state bullshit. So obviously for him, it's like, cool, I've got no one to leave my shit to when I die. I don't care what happens to it. But because fuck you, white privilege, you shouldn't be allowed to leave stuff to your kids, which is the stupidest take in the universe.
Let's unpack that for a second, right? So white privilege is, or privilege or whatever it is defining his thing. He's saying everyone needs to basically start from reset, from zero. That's a bullshit, because when in the history of our law has inheritance been defined by race?
No, never.
Unless I'm wildly freaking mistaken in our history, inheritance is not only something that is a modern concept, right? Inheritance is a concept that comes with us from the darkest bowels of history, even darker than Pierre's bowels.
Darker and blacker than his heart, clearly, because fuck him. But I mean, that's just me.
Not quite my taste, but in any event, old Pierre, luckily, I think the vast majority of sentient people consider your proclamation utter stupidity. At least I hope.
Exactly.
And there we go. I'm putting half the whiskey on the keyboard.
No, exactly. Yeah. So let me show. Let's get really controversial now, because what we've just discussed isn't in fact.
Yummy.
Let me show you something more useful, and possibly more controversial than Pierre de Vos. It's this thing.
Show me.
This isn't mine. I don't own this. This was given to me to review. And the problem with this...
You need to lift up your titty a little bit there so people can see who gave it to you.
Who gave it to me?
A little bit behind the silver dildo you have in front of you.
So, and we're going to address the comments shortly. Don't worry, guys. We're just going off on tangents. So this thing, for those who don't know what it is, it's a Ronnie. It's essentially a Roni. I don't know, whatever you want to call it. It's essentially an Israeli manufactured piece of polymer that you slide your Glock into.
Oh, that sounded so kinky.
That sounded kinkier than it should be. And for a very long time, I hated these things so much. I was like, I think you are where I was with it, because I just could not see a use for it.
Surprise you so much.
I thought not as a sex toy, okay.
That's a spoil sport.
I used to see this as like, what's the point of owning this? It's expensive. I mean, they're retailing for about 4,100 Rand now. They're cheaper than they used to be because previously you could only buy them in kits that came with a whole bunch of shit you didn't want, like a crappy optic sling, backup sights. Now you can buy them naked, just like this, like with nothing else there.
For 4
For 4 bar. Well, not bar, grand. Sorry. 4 bar would be 4 million. Yeah. No.
It's not a bad price, but okay. Yeah.
Okay, but still, that doesn't explain what the point is. So,
can I hick on here? Right.
Yeah, go for it.
Or did you want to make some sort of stirring monologue and I'll paint my face blue and we can cry freedom? No. Okay. Cool.
No, go.
Right. So here's where I was a few years ago. Is you could spend less and get a much better platform and get an extra gun, which was an Uzi, right? Yeah. So, and I bought one, right? So a few years ago, you could buy the refurb sort of ex-Rhodesian military Uzis that were imported in South Africa. And it was freaking fantastic. Met everything I needed. Exactly. I needed at that time, okay? To my mind, especially when Ronies were coming in about 3 or 4 grand, if I remember, a little bit more expensive than the Uzis were. So for that money, you could have bought either an Uzi or a BXP and had a better solution.
Yeah.
And it's probably
they're still better. Yes, they're still better. But
okay. You wanted to make another point. Make a point.
My other point is that you can do with the Roni something that you can't do with any of those. Do you know what that is?
Well, I don't know. You want me to be like super specific because you can do a lot of stuff you can do with that you can't do with an Uzi.
Okay, but let's
what
ignore,
are you particularly thinking about?
So let's ignore the fact of accessorizing, like putting a red dot or optic on here and a flashlight,
which is where I was going. Get your dirty
which is the only 2 rational things I would put on here, and a sling. That's like I would put literally nothing else on it. I don't see, I wouldn't put a magnified optic on something like this. So red dot, sling, torch. Fine. But that's what I was referring to. What you can do with this that you can't do with an Uzi or a BXP is leave it in your car unattended.
That is true. That is very, very true.
And this was my whole thing is that, we're not like Yanks where you could have what they call a trunk gun, which is, sorry for my one viewer from Atlanta. Where is she? I saw her here earlier.
Is it not truck gun?
Yeah, a truck. Trunk or truck. So because you can leave it in your truck or in your trunk. I don't know.
Trunk monkey, but a truck gun.
Trunk monkey truck gun. Okay. So the Roni, whatever you want to call the thing, you can leave it in your car, and if it gets stolen, you've lost the item, but you're not liable.
And you can insure it, I suppose. Yeah.
You can insure it. So the cool thing about this is I can travel long roads. I can travel bad roads, of which there are many in Cape Town. This thing is very easy to set up. It's a lot than this now Gen 4. You don't have to take this thing apart anymore to slide your Glock in here. You can if you adapted it, you could probably do it in about 3 seconds. So you can turn your Glock from a handgun. You can get it in this frame, and you can turn it. You're not going to turn it into a hand machine carbine, which is a stupid term. but you can.
Carbine. I'll tell you where I think that came from. But okay, yeah.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that now. You're going to tell us, but you can turn your pistol into a semi-carbonized bullshit thing. That's going to be more accurate, that's going to be more stable, that has all the inherent characteristics of an Uzi, apart from being an Uzi, with a red dot on it and a torch. And you've got you don't need, so if I'm driving to my mother in Swellendam, or if I'm driving to the farm, or if I'm driving the N2 just on a daily basis between Somerset West and Cape Town or wherever, I can leave this thing in my car. And if a situation arises that's really bad and I have 3 seconds in which to deploy it, I can. So that's not a very broad use. It might not appeal to a broad audience, but it's got scope, I think. I think it may have a fucking use.
Yeah, here's another sort of situation that got me thinking about this. So it's inherently easier to shoot a shouldered weapon than it is to shoot a pistol, right? Or revolver.
That's basically it, yeah.
I mean, it's easier ergonomically.
Yeah.
So a friend of mine who has got bucket loads of experience. Really, I don't think he's watching, but you and I both know him, right? He's served back in the old days in the SADF, and then he went and joined the Foreign Legion, and he's worked over most of Africa. He has an extremely good and competent security company that he runs.
I know exactly who you're talking about.
Of course you do. Yeah,
hardcore guy, very hardcore guy.
But one of, strangely enough, one of the most gentle people as well. At least when he wants to be, when he chooses to be. A hell of a nice guy. Anyway, so he got one of them, and this was his primary reason, is that his wife, fantastic lady, doesn't typically carry. She can shoot a rifle very well. She doesn't typically carry every day. So what he did was he got one of these to make it easier for her. Now, when I say she doesn't typically carry, she works primarily from home. So she's around that sort of environment a lot. So this is much easier for her. She puts her pistol in, her licensed pistol in it, and she runs it, pretty much like a small little carbine. And it's easier for her, and I think it's easier in that respect for a lot of people. So it kind of allows a pistol to become a 410 shotgun, right? Because a 410 shotgun is certainly a valid choice for certain people in certain circumstances within a very strict context, right? So yes,
exactly it.
I'm disappointing you a little bit, right?
No, you're not. But the thing with this that people must understand, this does not improve the terminal ballistics of your handgun. It doesn't.
Yeah, of course.
It does not have a longer barrel. And I can say that because I am Afrikaans, and proudly so, by the way.
I can't.
Well, you can't, I know. Because it doesn't improve the terminal ballistics of your handgun or of the round. It does make your handgun more accurate, but the only reason it does that is because it gives you 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, it gives you 4 points of contact. Yeah. Plus, if you put a red dot optic on this, that's way better than using conventional iron sights.
And you can put a red dot optic on a pistol as well. So
you can, but I mean,
not if you want to put it in there.
It's going to work better on this. So
here's where it's a really good option. Good option. So if people become sensible about things and they buy a second handgun, which is ideally in the same platform as their primary carry.
Yeah.
Right. But even if it's not that, even if it's within the realm of being a defensive handgun, and you have that as your second, you whack that in, and and then that becomes almost like your pistol caliber carbine, where your second handgun is more or less permanently in there, unless of course you're leaving it in the car or whatever. And even that's you don't leave the pistol part in the car.
Sorry, I was just going permanently
in the backpack.
Permanently in there just gave me flashbacks, so I'm just going.
That's what she said. But anyway, you're coming back to that. So you have that, and I'll be straight up. I mean, you and I have had this conversation with each other, but I personally think that a pistol caliber carbine is a fundamentally good defensive weapon. It really
Absolutely.
is. It's probably in an urban context. Certainly in a home defensive context, not quite up there with the shotguns, but it's better probably than a full-size rifle. Not from the point of view that it's more maneuverable and all of that. It is to a degree, but that's not the primary thing.
That's not the point.
No,
it's not stopping power to do the boomerism.
But the point is you are going to train with it a whole buttload more than what does 5.56 cost around these days?
Right? No, much more.
Triple 9 mil, 4 times 9 mil, right? So from that point of view, pistol caliber carbines are epically good. They really are.
And if it's something, they are a lot of fun.
They are so much fun. They're not quite as much fun as tutus. Tutus still the best, but in terms of having fun, yeah. I still like them more than pretty much most others. But pistol caliber carbines, yeah, go for it.
And you know what the major problem is today is like you can't.
Well, there's so many. Do we have to list them?
Oh, okay. There are many problems. Well, one of them is you can't really find pistol caliber carbines unless a as easily. I mean, yeah, you could probably still find some BXBs and some Sunners and the odd Uzi still floating around in various conditions, but I don't even know if someone apart from Beretta, they had that platform that was 9mm. I can't remember what it was
Storm,
called.
Or what's CX? It was one of the CX. You see the cash and transit guys carrying them quite often.
Yeah, that's about the only.
Used to, at least.
You used to, yeah. That was the only 9mm sort of platform you
saw.
No.
That's not fair, because Dacia is bringing in one called the Stryborg, right? Which I've heard very good things about.
Oh, the one from the Czech Republic. That one.
Yeah, I think so. Anything coming out of the Czech Republic is going to be pretty good, right? But you should chat with Arno Bolo about that. He knows a whole lot about it. I think he had one for a while, or still has one, but he's got quite a bit of experience in it. But coming back to the Uzis, are you sure they're not available? You should check with Stefan Meyer on that one. Wow, that was loud in my ears. Right, listen, if we're going to get heavy breathing in my ears, we've got to do a whole lot more drinking first. Anyway, we should check with Stefan, but I don't think they're that unavailable. And you know what? The one I had was a fantastic gun. I actually got a little reminder. I took Sean out to shoot.
I've always wanted an Uzi, by the way. I've always wanted.
Oh, that's so much fun. But listen, you have a 303 now, so
I do. I need to get a bayonet for it, because there's something amazing about stabbing somebody with your rifle.
They love it. They love it.
Maybe that's not a good thing to display on the internet. My inner sociopath. I really want to stab you, because that's the cool thing about this, right? Is if I can get a fitment.
Can you put a bayonet on that?
Well, if I can get a bayonet that's Picatinny rail friendly, I can, and I can make it a stabby roni as well.
Didn't someone in the US, when they had that dildos not Glocks or cocks not Glocks thing?
Cocks not Glocks, yes.
Yeah, didn't someone have a little dildo with a Picatinny attachment? Dude, I'm sure I saw that. I slung it at AR-15, maybe next to a coffee maker or something. Oh, on coffee, you should get the coffee from
Other Bryan is here, by the way.
Hey, dude, what's up?
and I'm going to answer Paul now.
He is not a gentleman. He is not a gentleman.
Me?
No, I know him. Yes, he is definitely not. I am. I'm very gentle.
Brian's very gentle.
When are the caps going on sale?
Yes, before
ask him.
Soon. So I'm using the same agency as Ramon, who's for the same guys who are making Ramon's GIMP masks. Now, Ramon, there's a reason for the acronym. It's literally called GIMP mask. I ordered one. He's a bit of a victim of his own success, because he sold about 15,000 rands worth of the stuff in 2 days, and the logistics aren't keeping up with getting them shipped.
I've got to get one. I really have got to get one.
It was more successful than he thought. So I phoned him today and I said, I hope that when my caps launch, hopefully next week, that I'm going to sit with the same problem. I really hope I'm going to sit with the same problem as being too successful, but we'll see. But for now, if you do want to, the shirt's coming, the hoodie's coming.
Okay. Is it? Lucky shirt. Yes. That's what she said.
Yeah, that's what she said. But if you do want to support us, either above or below, depending upon if you're a boomer watching this on Facebook or a millennial on YouTube, there is a link to Boeretroos coffee, which is the stuff I mostly drink. It's Rian Kutsia and Dion's coffee company.
So good.
If you buy their stuff, we get money. And with that money, we can buy alcohol, which means we can come drink it on a Friday talking to you. So it's a self-perpetuating cycle of addiction that you can help us carry on with. So there's that.
There's hardly any left.
There's hardly any left.
No, but I've got another bottle in the fridge. Don't worry.
Daniel asks a good question.
Saturdays? Yeah.
We can. He says, have you seen the R5 conversion to a .22 designed to save the SAP's training money? I've actually not.
Wait. Stop. It might have been designed to do this. The SAPs, the South African Police Service, doesn't give a flying fuck about saving taxpayer rands at all. Not at all. If it was anything, it was a military one, and it was probably for their marksmanship training program when they still had it, right? But an R5 conversion to it. Where did I see a video on that? Wasn't it Forgotten Weapons did one?
Yeah, I'm sure Forgotten Weapons must have. And
you really should watch Forgotten Weapons. They're freaking good. They really, really
Gan
are super good.
Jesus, but is great. But when he collaborates with Carl on in-range TV, it's even better. So watch that too.
Yes. And then there are two others, right? Can we plug favorite YouTube channels? Right? There's a chap in the UK called Kevin Fisher, right? He does a whole bunch of stuff on historic. I mean, he's really into 303.
Which is ironically where you're immigrating to, just so that people know that's where you're actually going.
Well, I'm not immigrating to Kevin. But
to the UK.
I'm immigrating to the UK, yes. And I'm going there because of job opportunities, which I'd be stupid not to take up.
Well, you got a big promotion. You got a big promotion. Yes. It would be stupid to not take it. But Whisky Friday will just become multinational then.
Yes, and it'll be Scotch or Irish Whisky Friday, depending on my mood. And I think Kilbeggan's more available. But you're distracting me. So go.
Sorry.
If you have any interest in like 303 related stuff and the sort of history of it and all of the equipment that goes with it.
I think we just lost Bryan. Hang on. We'll get him back in a moment. We'll get... the stream is going so well. I'll remind him. I'll remind him where we lost him, but he's going to come back in a second. I think it's rain. We can blame his rain connection. But I'm seeing all the comments. Don't worry, we'll get Bryan back shortly. Think of nouns. Any opinion on 357 Magnum lever action? And I will ask Bryan this as well when he comes back and he tells us about his favorite YouTube channels. Because the one he's telling you about now is called Bloke on the Range. I'm pretty sure it's Bloke on the Range. But hang on. Any opinion on 357 Magnum lever action for home defense? If an AR AK is not an option, could be an awesome plinker. I've always thought about it as, lever actions are pretty cool. You can shoot them as fast as you can work them, right? Yeah, we've lost Bryan. He's going to come back. You can shoot them as fast as you can work them. And with that extra little bit of, barrel length, you're getting the max out. He's back. You're getting the maximum out of your thing. Hang on. Are you back?
Rain. Yes. Anyone who's participating using LTE-driven internet, Rain sucks. If anyone works at Rain or knows anyone who works at Rain, tell them I sent this.
I had to fill the dead air without you. You were telling us about Bloke on the Range, and then it cut out. It was Bloke on the Range.
Go and watch it. Yes, Bloke on the Range. Go and watch it. It's super cool, right? I mean, you know what? He's based in Switzerland, and it's great fun. There's a whole lot of history stuff, and history is important, right? But it's also interesting, at least for me. And he covers a whole lot of stuff, some of which I don't enjoy, but it's mostly military firearms, and there's a whole lot of add-ons. It's really good to go and watch. But you know what? Still, hey, shush, I'm talking. The ultimate is still in-range TV and then Forgotten Weapons. They're just awesome. They're slightly below Paratus, and then I suppose you can put in Germ Warfare and Morning Shot and all of them somewhere there as well.
And Sichley, Big Daddy Liberty, and all the good guys.
Yes.
Yeah.
Nah, I don't know. I might put Big Daddy Liberty just like next to Paratus. He's really
maybe slightly above.
Nah,
we really like what he does.
I really
he likes guns. He likes guns. He might like guns more than we do. He's a Zulu. Of course he likes guns.
I think he likes guns more than I do, maybe. Not more than you do. You really like guns.
No, I'm still pretty mild compared to some people out there. But,
anyway.
Oh, God. It's not the king of nouns. The thing of nouns.
No, hang on. Shush. The thing of nouns. An opinion on a 357 Magnum lever action for home defense. If an AR AK is not an option. Could be an awesome plinker as well. Absolutely. Yeah. Right? So, redneck assault rifles. Again, this is kind of coming back to what we were chatting about last week. Can you get a bad gun, or can you only get bad users, right?
Yes and no. My bench.
Well, no, shush you, right? Because listen up, if you took a whole lot of Delta or SEAL Team 6 or whatever unit you want to do, and you give them muskets and freaking hatchets, would you still want to go and look for shit with them? No, right? Because they got mindset right. So here's the thing, right, is get your mindset right. That 357 or any lever action rifle was a freaking weapon of note for a whole bunch of people. There's zero reason why it shouldn't be a weapon of note for you. And will it be fun plinking? Absolutely it will be. I mean, ding, 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 ding. Come on, that's a good freaking momentum to get going. So yes, if you know, and it doesn't have to be if you don't have an AR or an AK, right? There's
you don't have to substitute.
Yes, you don't have to substitute.
You can just have this. I've always wanted one of these. So
if we look at someone like Cully, you know Culliman Leather, which dude, he makes belts and gimp masks, real ones, not the
not the make believe ones.
he makes all sorts of leather products, and it's super freaking awesome. But you should see this dude shoot cowboy action, right? I wouldn't go and freaking look for want to get in gunfight with the people who shoot cowboy action. I've seen how fast they freaking shoot, right? And they're all using,
yeah. Can we use that phrase? Run their guns. God, I hate it, but it's applicable. They run their guns. They run their guns really well, like really.
So
really
right? Seriously, Magnum lever action, 357 Magnum, freaking awesome. Enjoy it. Invite me. I'll come shoot with you.
Yeah, actually, boom.
And sorry, bolt action as well. Right? There's no reason why if a 303 or a 270 or 243 is all you have, right? There is no reason why it can't be an absolute fundamentally fucking awesome defensive rifle. I mean, listen,
exactly
if you want to get a really good one,
the Enfield, bro. So I still need to pay you for it, but I mean, I bought it.
You bought it because you just have this thing for Lee Enfields, right? I saw you every single time you were fondling it and holding it, and you said, "Take a selfie with me" or "Take a picture of me." No, you just have this thing for 303s.
I do. I'm not going to lie. By the way, before we get too distracted, Steve, you see, we don't even have to shill ourselves. People start asking us.
Where the fuck is the zapper?
Don't worry, there's the zapper. So hang on, lean. Other way, Brian. Other way. There's our zapper. So you can. Let me take Steve's comment away, so you can see you can now scan to pay, and you can buy Gideon and Bryan whiskey, which we can come drink on the channel, feeding our unhealthy alcohol addiction while we talk to you about guns, which is really responsible. Saint Andre, do you see its fit in Aroni?
Yes,
I don't know if
yes, they do. Go and
not all of them.
When you go, not all of them, but you have Ronnie's for CZs.
Yeah,
go look at this at the shop. Yeah. You do.
Okay, cool. There we go.
Maybe not the super old ones like the 75 pre-Bs or something, but
he's got a 10.
He's got a push 7. 10C. Okay.
Beth Symes asks us to tell her the GIMP meaning.
Hey, Beth. What's the GIMP meaning?
Also, another channel you should subscribe to, Beth's channel, Eleutheria. Yeah. Really good channel. Really, really good channel. I'm going to try and get Beth on the show next week or the week after. Anton, Stefan, Gen X, I do both. Well, we could get on Whisky Friday.
Oh, cool. Do you do both ways? I don't know. Hang on. Bring back that comment again. Anton Stechman does it both ways. Awesome. Anton. That is awesome. Way go you.
We've got some friends to we've got friends to introduce Anton to.
I don't know. Is Anton hot? Then yes, I have some friends for him.
I'm just going to what it genuinely. Oh, this is genuinely impressive mandated protection. That's GIMP. Paul made a comment about apparently the Saps are using imported.
For what though?
I don't know. Maybe because PMP can't supply anymore. I don't know.
No, I get that. I mean, PMP is a. Well, what are they using it for? So 5.56, right? So what? Fucking Russian ammo is awesome.
That's pretty awesome. But I mean, that just kind of illustrates. It illustrates that the local manufactured shit isn't keeping up to demand. Which I mean, is that a surprise?
Yeah, not just that, right? But I mean, isn't keeping up to demand as well. But you know, the Russian stuff is typically of a fairly good quality.
Well, I shoot Chinese shits in my FNFL, but don't tell anybody.
Yeah.
Maggie says hi.
Maggie, hey, hello, Maggie. Yeah, I'm assuming it's Friday. It's whatever it is. It's after 3:00. Maggie is no longer sober, but Maggie does.
I would be disappointed. Yeah, Maggie does. Oh,
occasionally she does Stefan as well, but mainly she does awesome kitchen cupboards.
Okay, announcement time though. The Paratus' small and medium business database is live as of this afternoon. It was one hell of a build. It was a fucking expensive build too, but I see potential in it. I think there's a whole bunch of cool stuff that's going to happen. A whole bunch of businesses aren't on there yet because you came in slightly late, but I will now add you to it manually. So the ones that are on there, that's not all of them yet. If you can't find your
Coming
name
late's a problem.
if you came late, don't worry, we'll still make sure you're satisfied, but you just have to wait a bit longer. We can put that on a t-shirt, by the way. So cheers.
Well, I'm finished now. I have to go and get some more. So we're going to have to take an ad break.
Okay, you go take
an ad break. No. Oops, stop. Right. Here's the thing. Right. So small and medium businesses, because you put me on a spot. You said I like Woolworths now. I don't.
Oh, yeah, I did.
I love their freaking rotisserie chicken. I really do. Woolworths has no balls. So, no, I don't like Woolworths now. Even though I still have a good friend who runs a Woolworths shop in Gordons Bay, they still suck. Right? They still folded in the face of government.
They did.
They do. Their chicken is fucking awesome. And I'm having some tonight. But they still suck. So, no, small and medium businesses. If there is a small business who has figured out how to make a rotisserie chicken as good as Woolworths, please let me know. I will drive to buy it from you.
And we will support small business.
I will support small businesses at every single opportunity I get. And let me be controversial for a second. Everyone who hates on the Pakistani and Somali shops, I will support them as well. Because guess what? They have met every single need that I have had during this stupid lockdown. The stupid economic shutdown, not lockdown.
Which is really what it was.
So guess what? Right? They are deserving of my support. And like I was saying in a chat with someone the other day, I've spent so much time in the Middle East, right? Being in shops like that is kind of not my happy place, but I enjoy it there. I always feel like I get really good service there. So I absolutely will go out of my way to support anyone who's running a small business. Bang.
Absolutely. And other Bryan says you mustn't run away with your inheritance.
Don't run away with my inheritance. Have you seen the tax that I'm getting whacked with to take my pension out?
I can imagine.
Right? The government's still getting their freaking stake. But here's why I'm going. I'm not running away.
No, we know.
No, well, he doesn't know. You know. He doesn't know.
Told
Let
them
me speak.
You got
Bryan
a promotion.
to Bryan.
How much whiskey have you had?
Well, clearly not enough. But coming back to this, here's some other fundamental things why I'm looking at leaving is, as Gideon said, or as I said earlier, I would be stupid not to go. This is a really good career trajectory for me. And I really enjoy working where I work. I work for an epically cool company.
They're a very cool company.
They are a very cool company.
It's not Rain, for anyone asking.
No, it is not fucking Rain. I really enjoy what I do. So I'm the global lead for crisis management, or for the crisis management for the company, which makes me a little busy right about now. But fundamentally, I also want to have the opportunity to build up a whole bunch of stuff and give back to them. And this allows me to do that. And also, Bryan, here's the other thing. Yes, I was born in South Africa. I grew up in Namibia. I've always considered Namibia my home. I've always loved that as a country. So I've always felt a little away from home in South Africa. So for my wife and for my kids are really looking forward to go. But for my wife, it's a little bit more emotional. She served this country for 20 years as a police officer. So it's a little bit more emotional for her. For me, I've already left my country, right? So I'm just going to a different place.
Yep.
Anywho,
that's a good answer.
That was somber.
And Anton says he knows the CEO of Rain.
Does he also like both ways, Anton? Please tell him that his product and his delivery to Hermanus is awful. Awful. Okay. Vorstier. I'm a lever action nut. Okay. I have ordinary nuts, but whatever blows your mind. I have a 357 and a 38. And the nice thing about the 38 special is that it's subsonic and perfect for a suppressor. Oh, sure.
Nice and quiet.
Yeah.
And he also
has a 45 ACP, by the way.
In 44 mag, by the way.
As per his profile pic. It's not naked. Why would I look at your profile pic if it wasn't naked?
Well, there's Beth's channel for everyone who we told to go subscribe.
is working better for the stream. Firefox is working better. Really? So I'm not self-pounding. Oh, promoting. I'm just sign on.
It's
okay, Beth, you're allowed to self-pound.
You're allowed to self-pound. We promote that on especially when she asked about the GIMP. So.
Yeah, self-pounding is a very healthy activity.
Okay, we've all got an invitation from Marika from Limpopo to go to the range.
Okay, cool. When?
Well, as soon as we can travel interprovincially. But let's let Marika answer that question.
Interprovincially, that sounds dirty. Okay, Marika, tell us. Now he's rolling his eyes. I bet you Liesel's standing on the other side of the laptop there. Hello, Liesel.
The Thing of Downs will join us as soon as Somerset West Pistol Club opens back up, which is my home club, which I look forward to going back to.
Why are they not open already? No, why are they not open?
I don't know, dude. I didn't ask too many questions, but this isn't mine.
Well, I'm
just reviewing this, by the way. I'm just saying,
he's just holding something long that isn't his.
Yeah, a big black thing in my hand. You can let that roll any way you want.
Okay, next one. Who's the next question?
Well, Werner asks me, do I know good deals? I am obligated to
getting a runny now.
I'm obligated to pay CHS Guns and Ammunition, which is whose shirt I'm wearing. They're not paying me to do this. It's actually what should we call this? A voluntary affiliation, because I really like their stuff.
No, it's
and I'm also friends with the owners.
But aside from the fact that both you and I are friends with them, right? It's a selection of superlative service. You tell me, show me any retail store where you get the level of service that you will get at CHS Guns.
This is objectively true.
No, completely, 100% objectively true, right? I have never, ever, ever, even before Aziza and I became friends, ever walked into that place or done business with them where I did not receive top class 100% service.
Pretty much. And by the way, Daniel Van Sale says, I still need to return your call, sir, to help you get.
He's not going to do it. He's not going to do it, Daniel.
I've been better. I've been getting back to people. You're pointing in the wrong direction. You should be pointing that way.
He sucks at returning calls. It's like his kryptonite. It's him and my wife are both the same. They will pick up the phone and they will say, "Ooh, this is Bryan calling. Fuck you," and they put it down. I know this. I know this for a fact. Both of them do that.
Maggie says she hasn't been sober since 9 a.m. this morning.
Well, that is the Maggie I know. And, of course, Love as well.
And the groomster says, how's it? He's surprised we're not licking anything.
Groom, there's a spider behind you. I'm looking good. Yeah, I know.
Well, to satisfy Mark, I can I Aziza, if you're watching, am I allowed to tongue the demo model? Probably not.
No, you got to get it all
putting big black things in my mouth. It sounds like a casting couch title right there. And if you don't know what that is, you haven't seen the Paratus Pornhub channel.
Do we have a proper Pornhub channel?
No, but should we? Okay, here's a poll for the audience.
I think we should do it.
Like in-range TV, should Paratus go on Pornhub? I don't know. Should we?
And who's volunteering to make that spot?
Yeah.
Do you want to see me naked? Or are you going to do something better?
My kink is keeping my clothes on. I think that's when we're going to be.
Okay.
For the sake of the
fundamentally
audience.
Boring, but okay. Yes.
I just want to see who else is. There's a couple of people who's talking to us. Oh, Anton says he wants to live in Swakop.
No, man. Well, okay. So you want to live in Swakop. Swakop is a brilliant place. It is a brilliant place. I've been to Swakop many, many times. Hardly ever sober, right? And you know what? I have never had a bad time in Swakop. I think the last time I went there when I was sober, I was about 12. But it is a brilliant, awesome place. There is a couple of places better. Henty's Bay, just up north. Oh, dude, Henty's Bay. Oh, man, I used to love that place. It used to be my hangout. And then Luderitz. The only town I've ever found that absolutely fundamentally sucked in Namibia was Walvis Bay, right?
Which is right next to Swakopmund.
Which, well, it's not right next to it, but it's a little bit away. But I used to put ships on the synchro lift there. I used to dive and do all the hull surveys and then pack the little blocks because, underwater Lego builder and all of that shit. And that was just, that really sucked. But, Swakop is awesome.
Well,
the entire country, except for Walvis. Yeah,
the entire country. There's a good reason I like Jacques is because he's also from Namibia. I didn't know this, or Southwest Africa. So now we know.
Whereabouts are you from, Jacques?
Yeah, tell us.
Where did you grow up? So
Marika is offering to meet us in Gauteng or in Bloemfontein, which is more central. I'm like, no, Pretoria works for me.
No, Gauteng is fine.
Gauteng's fine.
when I was still doing security and risk assessments, I always used to put
at Magnum
as a high risk location because you were in distinct danger of dying of boredom. Steve E. Marika, at Magnum. Okay, Magnum's an epic range.
We can do it.
If anyone's around Pretoria, go and shoot at Magnum. It's super
absolutely
cool.
Honest for Rensburg, isn't Somerset West Club on city-owned land, which is part of the problem. It is. It's a lease. And they probably have to toe the line because of this bullshit. Also, adding to their problem, they have a hostile neighbor in the sense of Waterkloof Wine Estate who really hates them and that has been actively trying to shut them down. Now, I'm not going to say you shouldn't buy Waterkloof Wine Estate's wine, that you shouldn't eat at their restaurant. I just think you should be aware of the fact that they are trying very hard, that they hate the gun range next door very much. So
they like
just
HK,
putting that out there.
You suck and they hate you. Yeah. The other places, of course, somewhere like Cliff or something like that, because they think you suck and they hate you too.
Exactly. What did Vorstier is leaving us? He will miss the rest of the stream, but it's recorded. Sorry, he said church gathering. He's got a church gathering, not a braai.
Vorstier, right? So here's the thing. You get this little phone thing, right? You can go to the braai and you pop it next to it, and you can still watch us. Right? And if you have earphones, we can.
You don't have to bother.
In your ear.
Daniel says the longer this chat goes on, the more liberals die. In that case,
okay, you go.
Can I pass my whiskey to you through the screen, and you can just top up quickly? Because Anton says his jocks are still on the rafters or at rafters in Swakop.
Okay. That's a good place for them to be.
I've never left my underpants behind in Swakopmund, which I suppose is a good thing. I don't know.
You're not hanging out with the right people then. Because leaving your underwear behind in Swakopmund is kind of like a thing. It's almost a rite of passage. It's almost to say you haven't lived until you've partied yourself out of your underwear. And
I've been to Swakopmund many times, which makes it
Gubabus.
Yeah, Jacques
is from Gubabus. Okay. I can dig with that. So Jacques, here's the thing, right? If you look at the map where I grew up, if you look at the map and you look way down in the south, you'll see Keetmanshoop. No, I did not grow up there, right? But if you look over towards the Kalahari Cancer Park, there's a little village called Kois. And if you go even further over to the border, I grew up about 18 kilometers away from Mata in the, on the Namibian side, of course, right, just off the Kalahari Cancer Park. And it was just, wow, there was no place better. No place better to be.
There was nothing around you either. You literally grew up in the middle of nowhere.
Well, no, that's not true. That's not true, right?
I'm just being facetious. I'm being facetious.
Well, stop being facetious for a while, right? So we had a fantastic community of people who lived there. All of the farmers in that area, they were really close. And I will say this fundamentally is that there's a different mindset about what is welcoming people in Namibia to what there is here in South Africa. That's my opinion, but I have never in my life been made to feel as welcome in any South African home as I have in Namibia.
Well, I can tell you a funny story about Namibia as well, because Steve went to Swakop once, but it was obviously lots up in the north. And I had the pleasure of going through the north of Namibia about 2 years ago. We took my dad's Land Rover, well, he came with Defender through Botswana to Katima Mulilo, and then we drove all the way west through. It's no longer called Caprivi. Yeah, it's not called the Caprivi anymore. It's called something else now, but it doesn't matter. I think it's called
Namibian Finger.
Yeah, the Namibian Finger. We drove all the way to Rundu, and then we went down to Grootfontein, and then we went back to Windhoek via Etosha. But he was the army doctor in Walvis Bay. And that was his posting during national service, and he volunteered for it.
He pissed off someone.
No, he volunteered for it. And
he was young and dumb once.
It was such a controversial thing. He got summoned to military headquarters. It was still called Voortrekker Hoogte back then, to go and explain to them why he volunteered to go to Walvis Bay, because never in the history of the South African Defence Force had anyone volunteered for Walvis Bay. So they thought it was suspicious, and he had to go explain.
I don't know if he's on the Facebook stream, but old Dion Storm from Hailstorm, I think he got posted out to Walvis Bay as well when he did his national service. I don't think he volunteered to go there, though.
I'm pretty sure. Who did Dion piss off,
Here
we go, Werner.
Okay, Werner, I'll give you my thoughts, right? Gideon has more experience with red dot sites than I do, but I'll give you my thoughts. Don't cheap out, okay? So
let's just keep that up there.
Of relative quality, right? Relative quality is it's not a good term for optics. Okay, that's not saying will you be absolutely unarmed if you have a shitty gun or a shitty optic or whatever. No, of course not, right? But if you can afford to spend more on an optic, spend more on an optic, right? I think Trigicon is probably the benchmark when it comes to optics. Yeah. But I mean, there are others as well. From sites, of course, there's a wider range. But you know what? Trigicon is such a good product. If you can reach it, try. Yeah. That's what I can say. But
so if you can afford an RMR or an ACOG, get that.
Yeah. But if you can't, don't feel like shit about it, right? So if Bushnell or something else is in your budget, then make it work for you, right? And if you can't afford an RMR or any optic at all, make that work for you as well. Okay, I mean, it's about here. It's not about the gear.
No. Okay. So to add to that, so Aimpoint obviously is like the go-to red dot for many people, but it's expensive. The PRO, the Aimpoint PRO, the patrol rifle optic, really good option. It's cost effective. If that's too pricey and you really squeezed for money, Vortex makes pretty solid stuff that is a hell of a lot more affordable than the Aimpoint products. And I believe Vortex stuff comes with I think it's a lifetime guarantee. I think so. They have very good guarantee policies, and their stuff isn't expensive. And I actually own a Vortex product as well. It's not a red dot. It's a magnified optic, and I was quite impressed with its standards.
So Kelly McCann, who's probably not credited with this, but I think he was, if not the first, he was one of the first people who went and put on optics on pistols, right, and used them combatively.
Yeah, he was.
And I think he used a Dr. Optics.
Yep.
Right. That was his first one that he popped on there. But even you go and look at the stuff that he uses. Right. That's a good standpoint. And
I'm pouring whiskey while you talk. By the way, sorry.
Well, I'm going to go and you're going to have to do a monologue just now, and I'm going to run and get some more. I also got to go and siphon the Python. But here's the thing, right? It's whatever you can get. if you absolutely need an optic, or if that's going to be within your defensive makeup, part of your thing, go and get what you can now and build to what you want whilst you have what you can. Okay, we're still on Vanna's thing, but hey, listen, it's a really good question, right?
It is a good question,
and that fundamental is going to be, I mean, that's something you can speak to more of, because I don't really know optics as well as you do. So, again, the only one I've ever had is a fire point, and it worked really well for me. Okay, I don't think they're available anymore, but it worked really super well for me, and it wasn't a Trigicon, but it was very good. So get what you can and work towards what you want.
That's it.
Okay.
Go refill.
You have a monologue.
Whiskey. I'm going to have the monologue quickly. Well, we're probably going to lose all our viewers when you leave, because so. As I said, Aimpoint is relatively cost effective, but still expensive. Vortex, and then of course the Doctor Optic, and you get the Hollow Sun stuff, which is really good. I see there's some recommendations coming through in the comments as well. I'm going to tell you now what they are as I scroll through. Just to answer Daniel quickly, it is the Samsung Meteor mic. Absolutely, yes. You well spotted. Sightmark, Alan. I really do trust Alan's opinion, because Alan has been in the game longer than I have. So Sightmark has good stuff. I would check that out as an option. Vanna just actually responded. He said search results versus web results for Vortex Optic Crossfire. It was exactly the Crossfire I was referring to. The Crossfire is their most cost-effective option, if I recall correctly. The other ones are slightly more expensive, but it really is a good red dot optic. It's going to satisfy your needs without breaking your bank balance. And let's be brutally honest, a red dot is not a magnified optic. So it's speed of transition. It needs to be clear. It needs to be reliable, preferably have a decent battery life. A lot of them, the downside is a lot of them use, batteries that are a little bit scarce, difficult to find. But the Aimpoint stuff has got like a 5 to 6 year battery life if you leave it switched on. So you're not going to be replacing batteries every year. Whereas you get the EOTechs, which are ridiculously expensive holographic red dots. They run off normal batteries, but now you're paying money again for a really pricey red dot. Dion Osbrook, I put a UTG red dot on his R1. If any red dot that can survive being mounted on an FN FEL is durable, it's going to be a durable optic. There was a story a couple of years ago about FN Scars breaking optics. I don't know if you remember it, Bryan.
Where did I see that? It was on Max channel, right? Military Arms or something like that. Yeah, when he did this whole thing between a Scar and what was the other one? And Chris Costa's experimental rifle that went into production. Anyway, the Masada it used to be called, and then it got called something else.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
But I think Mac mentioned like that. That being said, I've shot a Scar Heavy once in my life. It was awesome, but it was an open sight, so I don't know. It really was a great rifle.
I saw one at a dealership in Stellenbosch. Really cool rifle, but the price tag on it
really
is
expensive. Yeah, okay. I shot mine in the US, so different.
I really like it, but for the price of that, there's a lot of other stuff I like more that I could get multiples of. So
stay at war. But here's the thing, right? So a Scar Heavy, as you said, it's a really good rifle.
But it's sexy. It's awesome.
You can get an FN, right, and have the same sort of thing without the furniture. And it's the same sort of thing without the furniture.
It's essentially a modernized FEL, really, if you think about it.
Which is a brilliant thing to have, because, I mean, come on, the FEL is awesome. Awesome rifle, right?
Yeah, but not for like 180,000 Rand, though. No. And I'm dead serious. This is the type of price range.
Or for 180 kilometers.
Yeah.
That's the other thing with the FEL, right? Yeah. Is when you have to walk that bitch, it's no longer a nice bitch.
I just got by the way, I'm just sharing this because I have no idea where this is coming from.
Come on. I think Bobs and Dognut had a sex change.
I think we got our first spam bot on our chat.
Call Adnan Covey. Okay, Adnan, Yes, that's good.
Does he
Right,
want to
and
buy? Wait, does he want to buy a coffee? What?
No,
Dude,
no.
no.
He wants to do something with you which pertains to the science of the occult and sorcery.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, so you can read
I think
French.
that's Nigerian Penn and Teller. Sorry, not Nigeria. Oh, that's the DRC Penn and Teller.
Is this what
No,
is this telephone number on this profile picture? Is it +29229?
But he's déjà arrived un temps au vous. My French is terrible.
Okay, we just got our first bot. Sorry.
Okay,
So just to, I don't know if you when
Thanks,
Van
Jensen.
said this,
Yeah.
but he's looking for the Vortex Crossfire, which, ironically enough, when I was in CH yesterday picking this up, I was looking at exactly that. I said, if I had to kit this thing out, I would
Hold
put
that thing
one
up
of those
again.
on it. This thing.
Hold it up again. Okay, so that front grip, right? That's a permanent fixture.
It's folded in. Yeah, this is permanent.
Well, unfold it.
Unfold it. Okay, hang on. I've imbibed a fair amount of.
Don't put your fingers. Okay, other way.
So it's there.
I want to look at the front part. Okay, it's okay. It's pretty cool. So it's not bad. Is that a torch attachment for it, or what?
Yeah, you can fit a torch either there or there.
No, but what's the thing underneath?
Yeah, they've got they have a proprietary torch that you can fit in there, but
okay.
If you want to, I don't know. I generally look. Okay, I'm a complete arsehole. Spoiler alert! I should have said that before. I don't always. Brian, don't look so surprised. You know this.
I'm not surprised.
You're not surprised. I'm not a huge fan of a company like CIA, for example, who makes really cool stuff. Okay. They do make cool stuff. They make cool stuff. They make cool stuff.
I bought some of their stuff for my Mossberg. So yes, they do.
Yeah. Okay. CIA makes cool stuff. What they don't make, they're not specialized in making weapon mounted lights. That's not their thing.
Ah, okay. So they made the thing. Okay.
So for me, it's like if that's not your gig and you do it, I get it. I get why it makes commercial sense because you can sell it in kit form and then people pay more money.
It's like the Safari Land light.
Yeah.
It's like the Safari Land light.
It's like the Safari. It's a crappy light.
Yeah. Right?
It's cool.
Safari Land makes the best holsters, especially if you're wearing a uniform, right? Yeah. And there's nothing that comes close. Safari Land is just awesome. Yeah. For outside the waistband, uniform wear holster, it's just brilliant. Okay. Especially if you want to go and do some rolling around with it. And it was actually one thing, I think I got James Smart to fall in love with a Safari Land holster doing the Gracie Combatives for Law Enforcement course with him. And he tried his best to get the gun out and it just wouldn't. But it's a really, I'm waffling now, but the lights are super shit.
Yeah. The Safari Land lights are terrible. Heine says he's glad that I'm drinking my whiskey neat. So thank you, sir. That's the only way I know how to drink it.
Well, it is 12-year-old Scotch, right? So
Jacques asked, we're discussing red dots on pistols or rifles. I think it was rifles and rifle platforms.
Well, no, we weren't. But we were talking, we delved into pistols, right? But it was primarily pistol caliber carbines. And there needs to be a differentiation between what is a rifle and what is a carbine, especially when you're talking pistol caliber carbines, right? Because a rifle is an incredibly good tool for its function, but it is not a carbine, right?
No.
And one needs to be clear in one's mind when one differentiates. And if I speak of the third person too much, I'm going to make myself sick. But you get where I'm going. It's
just call yourself they and we. Just do it.
They. Should I do the side profile? Be like Mussolini and strike.
Because remember, you identify as a what? Like gender based? No, this was Jacques. This was the second part of Jacques' question. So, by the way, we do interact with our audience.
Yes.
So send us. Like, it takes me forever to scroll through. I will eventually get to what you said, but please do send us stuff.
So, Jacques, what's the story? You don't like being dependent on batteries when shit hits the fan. Okay.
No, he asks, would you count on pistol red dot sights? Would you?
Yes. Why not? Why not? Because let's unpack that. What is the situation where it fails and I can't use my standard iron sights? Right?
Okay, can I expand upon that? Because sometimes on the Glocks, on the slides, where your iron sights would go is now where the red dot fits, so you might lose your actual iron sight.
Okay, so you're talking about that sort of situation. So yes. Well, I suppose you could say that's a thing, right? And it might well be a thing. But if the thing is your ability to take longer shots is not compromised, well, adapt your situation. And it's kind of like that saying, well, I only have a bolt action rifle. Well, okay, if you only have a bolt action rifle when the shit hits the fan, and I appreciate it's a little bit different from what you asked, but you adapt your tactics to that situation. Yeah. If you have a red dot optic pistol and you're in mid-fight and suddenly your battery goes dead, because, hey, Murphy's Law, shit does happen. Then adapt your situation. Well, okay, now you have a compromised system. You got to work it to what it's capable of. Exactly. That just means, well, okay, now I have to be a whole lot closer when I take that shot.
And there was a very cool thing that Gideon Coetzee showcased. Well, it wasn't him that was doing it. I think he just posted the video of
Gideon Coetzee.
Coetzee. I always delete the one Coetzee when I tag him. I don't know if it irritates him, but I can't, like, my OCD doesn't allow me to tag Gideon Coetzee. He had a guy, he was showing footage of a guy that he had a guy that took the sights off his Glock completely.
Yes.
And and it was shooting at a fairly decent range at like half a IDPA target. And it was getting hits on the thing by essentially point shooting it. So, look.
Well, here's the thing. I am not a shooter of that caliber, right? That's someone like Arno or Dion, something like that. I am not that shooter. So I know that if I've lost the ability of my sights, and listen, I mean, it's a far lesser likelihood, but my freaking crappy Glock sights might break. Okay, and then I'm sitting without Glock sights. Does that make that firearm cease to function? No, of course not. I just have to get a whole lot closer when I use it, right? Yeah. So that's kind of my mechanism for doing so. So coming back to Jacques' question, would you? No, shush you. Would you rely on it, right? Why wouldn't you? That's the thing. You can rely on anything if you have a plan for when anything fails, because anything is capable of failure. So have a plan to deal with that failure.
Your actual sights. And it happens.
Any shit can happen, okay? I mean, hell, your gun might fail to function. What are you going to do then? What is your plan for that? You might be in a place where you don't have a gun, or you don't have a gun that you can carry on your person. You might have to hide it in a bag or something like that. All of those are eminently possible.
Because you can stab someone with a Parker pin. You really can.
Yes. Have a hot cup of coffee when you're in the mall. You can't walk in the mall with your fucking gun out, right? Although sometimes you might want to. But the hot cup of coffee, especially when it's super hot, is almost as good as mace if someone comes and causes shit with you.
That's the thing. And also something we need to bear in mind about...
As long as it's Boeretrus coffee, right? So.
Boeretrus coffee. A hot cup of Boeretrus will keep not the doctor away. But if your doctor sights fail...
keep the bad guys away.
Keep the bad guys away. But here's also the thing. Modern red dots, most of them, okay? We're not talking about EO crap here. We're talking about high quality modern red dots.
They're going to hate you.
They're going to hate me. Have really long battery lives. You can leave that thing on, and generally you're looking at a 2 to 5 year battery life. So if you're really anal retentive about it, and you leave and you replace your batteries every year to year and a half, you're probably not going to have a battery related problem. If you then get an optic related problem, that's another story. Okay, if the actual optic fails, that's not the battery's not going to cover you for that. But there is workaround. Look, I don't carry an optic on my stuff. Yeah.
Stop a second, right? So is the only optic that you can mount on a Glock one that you have to replace the rear sight with?
Not necessarily. But most of the so you can either get your slide milled, which
those MOS, or you can buy one of the optic ready slides, right?
Yeah, the optic ready slides I think replace the rear side, but I am open to correction. So anyone in the audience who wishes to tell me I'm talking absolute dog shit, please do. I would appreciate it.
And there's no optic yet developed that actually has incorporated within its design a rear sight.
There may be,
and if not, there's a market opportunity, because
that would solve that problem. Firstly, secondly, the only reason, one of the reasons I haven't run an optic on my handgun is there are two elements to it. One, my defensive one, or any of them. It's a bit of a new training regime because, funnily enough, it's not such a natural progression going from using iron sights on your handgun versus getting used to shooting through a red dot. I don't think it's a huge change, but it does require a little bit of getting used to, apparently, from those who've been there and done it and got the T-shirt. That's just me paraphrasing what they're saying. So you kind of have to get used to shooting with the red dot on your pistol now, which is probably not a major thing, but worth investigating, right? There, bit of training, bit of practice. And the other thing that put me off it, more of it, was apart from the cost, is the fact that it's just too much effort to go get a new slide, and it's going to cost me money to get a new slide. That's more. Well,
there's my thing, right?
And right. I'm like, I'm fine. I'm fine with my iron sights. Really, it's okay. Like,
well, let's also understand, what are you carrying a pistol for, right? Yeah. So for most of us who are carrying it defensively, it is our primary weapon for most of the time.
Yeah.
Okay. At least for most of the time that we are mobile. Is your pistol your primary weapon at home? I don't know. Right now, for me, it is. Okay. Because
but it didn't used to be.
No, it didn't used to be.
Yeah.
Right. So how it used to be when I still had my own house, and I would have my shotgun staged fairly close in a secure location. And when I say secure, it's primarily because I teach my children how to be secure around firearms, don't have kids. But anyway, it's, my pistol wasn't my primary in that case. It was only my primary when I went out. And to be super honest, for the past 2 years, most of the time I carried a Glock 43. I dual licensed my wife's Glock 43, and I used to sneak it out. She dual licensed my 19. She was happy carrying my 19. I was happy carrying, and she also had a Beretta PX, her issue weapon, before she left the police. But I really carried the 43 more than anything else. And that doesn't have the option of being red dot optic, at least certainly not sensibly so. So I don't know. Where I'm going with this is the fundamental of carrying a pistol is you've got to understand that the ranges you are dealing with, you're laughing, are a whole lot shorter than you think they are going to be. Right? So when you're talking about defensive engagement, and no, I'm not going to quote the FBI statistics of every civilian gunfight is less than 5 meters and all of that. No,
right? we don't need to go down that road.
But most of the time, a pistol engagement it's not quite arm's length, but it's about 4 or 5 arms lengths. Okay, and no, that doesn't mean I'm saying point shoot and all of that sort of thing. You've got to do what you train to do, but ultimately you've also got to fight with what you have. I've never had a red dot optic, so it's never sort of crossed my mind that should be my initial purchase for a defensive weapon. I've always gone for better iron sights, and then just making sure that the pistol is as reliable as it can possibly be. Right? I'm not shooting down red dot sights. It's not the only option. It's not the be all and end all option either.
No.
It's just an option.
It's an option. And to just give a quick shout out to Jason Goldratner, who sent us
Jason, you're awesome.
Jason, you just made a Friday. Also, sir, you are our first Zapper client, if we can call it that.
Is he our first?
He's our first.
Hang on. I've got to ask. I've got to see Jason's. Okay, it's not the other Jason, because I was watching the Germ show the other day when he was chatting with a Jason from Sweden, who was telling us all about the lockdown or lack of lockdown in Sweden. And Jason was awesome. Jason actually got exposed to COVID, and all he got was a little bit of a chest pain for 2 days. So I called him dead Jason.
But to be honest, sorry,
not that Jason.
Jason was our second. Our first was from
second.
Stephen Engelbrecht. Sorry, and Mareike sent us drinking money too. So you guys,
kisses.
Yeah, Mareike left. She had to get back to work. But we'll give Mareike, we'll blow kisses at her anyway, because she's probably going to watch
She works
this.
at a sucky place. She cannot drink at work.
No, I know, that's terrible. Well, I couldn't either up until I resigned. So now
I'm really glad you couldn't work, because I actually flew in some of your airplanes, right? I'm really glad you guys couldn't drink. Because the pilots I flew with. I flew with.
You flew with Megan.
They landed really bumpy. But they were better than the fucking SAA pilots. No, shush you. Do you know why SAA pilots suck? Because one of them told me once that I should prepare for blast off. If there's anything a commercial airline pilot should never tell anybody is prepare for blast off. Fuck you, pilots. I don't want to prepare for blast off. You should take me up into the sky where I can have whiskey and be, served upon by awesome cabin crew. Not prepared for blast off. Fuck you. Go bankrupt.
Okay. More people are asking for the Zappa logo, so I'm just putting it up over my face. Other way, Brian. Other way. There it is. Just so you know, we'll do it at the end of the show again. But we're still carrying on quite strongly.
Are we? Okay. Are there more questions?
So no, they're plenty.
I might pass out here just now, but okay.
I still wanted to say something. What's it? Particularly illuminating. I forgot what it was. My train of thought went. Psh.
Okay, whilst you're training your thoughts to come back to you, shush. You talk a lot. Hang on, we have a question. Jason, I love my Olight Mini. I'm sure your Olight Mini loves you too, Jason.
Jason was the guy, by the way, who asked you about the Maverick 88 in our previous Whisky Friday.
Did you buy it?
And you gave him a good answer.
Yes. Did you buy the Maverick 88?
Yeah, Jason, did you buy it? Another
question. Are
you
going to put your Olight Mini on the Maverick 88?
Well,
and you can. You know who has an awesome freaking thing was Rowan. He made I think he bought himself a Winchester 1300 or something. It was whatever it was. But he went and figured out, those bicycles, those mountain biking torch mounts work super well on his shotgun. And he went and put his torch in. It was awesome.
A mountain biking.
I loved it.
We need Drone to show us, because that's a really good consumer tip. No.
Yes.
But we need to get. By the way, this is what I wanted to say. Sorry. I just
Weekend Warrior.
Weekend Warrior. Subscribe to them. They're a really cool podcast. And Brian and I and a whole bunch of other cool people were on Sunday, and we actually had quite a decent discussion about the psychology of defensive shooting. Now, to tie in with what you just said about red dots, so. When I had my defensive shooting in 2015, it was at about a 2.5 meter range maximum. I mean, this was if the guy was that far away from me, that would be a lot. Okay. I do not remember using my sights during the shooting. I may have.
You probably did.
I probably did, but it did not. Well, I don't think fundamentally it made a huge difference. There was a lot else. There were many other factors coming into play simultaneously, apart from the sights.
So that's a really cool point. Let's unpack that. You don't remember, right? But I know you. I've seen you shoot. You typically bring your firearm up and it's up at your face and you're using your sights. Okay, so what does our logic tell us? That you will default to your training habits.
Yes.
Okay. So you probably did that. You don't remember that because it was probably up, bang, 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 and it was back in, and you were doing what you would normally do. Why? Not because of muscle memory, because muscle memory does not exist. It doesn't.
Yep. It doesn't.
The neurological pathways you have created was that action was draw up, out, engage, come back. You are looking around. You are breaking that tunnel vision, and you are back into a state of readiness. Okay, so what does that say? Is that says that your programmed intent wasn't unthought because there was a stimulus. The stimulus created a reaction. That was your reaction. You engaged, threat terminated, and you were back ready for the next threat. You just don't remember the sequence because you don't need to.
No, I had a massive adrenaline dump. I can remember barely anything from the sequence. But
then you had a massive dump after that. But sure, you had a massive adrenaline dump.
So to answer Herman's question, Brian, do you want to answer Herman's question about my telecommunication skills?
What if Gideon is going to read and answer his WhatsApp? No, Herman, he's not. He is not. He is not going to read and answer his WhatsApp because he does the H&K WhatsApp. And this is it. He says, and it's like my wife. He says, you suck and I hate you. Bye. He's not going to answer it. Sorry.
Look, at least I know I suck at this shit, like horribly. But the reality is now that I'm unemployed, I'm self-employed, I better get better at it, like a lot.
You and Barlow, the two world's worst people for answering a fucking telephone.
Yeah, pretty much. Anyway, moving on swiftly. Heine asks, that's the one.
Well,
that's a Strebog. Is Grandpa Czech or is it Slovakian?
No, Grandpa's Slovakian. Slovene. Yeah,
because they're two different Slovenia and Slovakia, two different
It's really good. It's really good. Whichever one it is really, really good. Okay? If you have a grandpa, you have an awesomely cool gun. And the Strebog, again, Arno Barlow from Combative Concepts. Right? Gideon's going to share something now. Right? He's going to share something. Hint, hint. Share something.
I am.
Right?
Oh, sorry. I will make it happen. You carry on talking to them.
Okay.
I'm editing it in.
Chat with Arno. He has the experience of it. The other person you can talk to in terms of knowing the grandpa really well are the chaps from MRST. Go and speak with Guy. Guy Stockbridge from MRST. Guy's a really, really nice guy. Guy's a nice guy. Okay, but go and chat with him. But before you do that, go and chat with Arno Barlow from Combative Concepts. It's down there. There it goes.
It's down. It's scrolling. It's scrolling now.
Go and Google that. Chat with Arno. He's got some hands-on experience. He also knows Guy very well. Go and have a discussion with him. You opened another glass. You really did. I heard. Now that is the 12-year-old pop that I heard. Right? It's not the screw top. It's that.
Yep, that's what it was.
Yeah, that's super classy. Okay. Cool. Okay. Next question. But it's from everything I've heard. It's good. It's grandpa.
It's grandpa. It's not so much a question as a statement. So some do actually have a slot for the rear sights.
Yeah.
Okay. So that answers.
Shush you. Right. So Steve, that would be the one that I would then go for. Right. Is something that gives me the best of the optic world, but if I need to rely on the iron sight world, that's the one I'd go for. Yeah, and if it has Trigicon on it, then it would definitely be the one I go for. But whichever way it's done, I'd buy it from CHS Guns.
Yes. This one. Okay, I need to stand up and pop. And Steve says yes. Steve confirms it does take time to get used to the optic. If you sorry, can we say the American? If you run it on your gun, it's going to take time to get used.
Sounds fucking terrible, dude. Don't do that.
Terrible.
Okay, it takes time to get used to anything.
Let's do it.
Right? If you go and buy yourself a Safariland holster today, you will get one of the world's best outer waistband holsters. It's going to take time for you to get used to, and you're going to have the double pump a few times, but get used to it. If that's how you want to run it, get used to it. Steve says also dovetail mounted optics are
cuck. By the way, he corrected that they're cuck. Side overboard.
Oh, okay. Yes. Right. Anything that takes away options. Right, might not necessarily be cuck. I mean, that might be an unfair statement to make. I mean, you might have the super optic that never ever breaks down. But why would you put yourself in a position where you give yourself less options as opposed to more?
Exactly.
So Jacques says, my understanding of why people, not white people, go red dot on pistols.
White people.
White people go red dot on pistol is faster target acquisition. But then again, is that really so much faster? If trained instinctively on open sights, I don't know. Training's always the answer, right? Well, no. Yeah. Mindset's always the answer. Training's always the feeder. Okay. So yes, Jacques, you're 100% correct. Training.
And we did.
No, I sent an earlier zapper.
He did. But at least
getting a crush on Steve. Steve, I got a bro crush, dude.
Mindset, training. Mindset
feeds. Mindset leads, training feeds, and brands follow.
Yeah, brand / equipment follows.
Yes, I still have to work a bleeds in there somewhere every 28 days.
Bleeds. So Herman asked us for the zapper. We gave it already.
Okay.
Could I swap my logo for this
Gideon will swap anything for anything.
thing? Jason got back to us. He has a Maverick 88 and Mossberg 500 and a Taurus ST12. The only one I don't.
Awesome.
I've no idea what the ST12 is at all. I'm willing to admit this on the air. So
I almost got a Taurus 1911 once.
Hang on. Well, talk to my audience while I Google this so I can pop it on the screen.
Okay.
Because
so a Maverick 88 and a Mossberg 500. Bro.
Oh, it's a shoddy,
My
bro.
personal thing. Shush. Hey, did you? Is it a shoddy?
It's a shoddy. I'll get a picture up on here now. Hang on, if I can.
So he has 3 shotguns. He has 3 levels of awesomeness. Jason, well done.
So I knew you were gonna dig this. Hang on, I'm going to
Jason,
put it
the next step is save up and get yourself a Sega. They are so much fun. It'll give you a hard on, I promise. Or it'll make you wet. Whichever way you are inclined, it will do something innately sexual to you. And here's the irony. The first time I got to play with the Sega, it was with Paul Oxley. I had to admit that I got turned on in the presence of Paul Oxley. Who is possibly one of the few people uglier than me and who wears short shorts. It was very disturbing. It was fundamentally disturbing, but it was what it was, and the Sega was worth it. There we go.
This is true.
Okay.
And for some reason,
I have
my
got to
image
go
is
just now in about 4 minutes.
I'm trying to get this thing to save so it can. Oh my goodness gracious me!
So here's the thing, dude. I've got to duck in about 4 minutes, right?
Okay.
Hard stop. Okay.
All right. So let's just answer a few more before we have to call it quits. So, am I out of the aviation industry
that's
now?
your question, not mine.
Okay, that's my question. So yes, I did get communication from Fly Sapphire today that they have been a holding pattern, subject to how the market recovers. So if all of you buy a hell of a lot of plane tickets on Fly Sapphire, they will probably have a flying job for me. Hopefully. Hey?
I'm going to be buying tickets on Fly Sapphire to get to Joburg so I can get the fuck out of here. But yes, Fly Sapphire.
Fly Sapphire. Good company. Great people.
Yes.
By the way, from all the aviation companies I've ever had an interview process with, and awesome process, awesome people, highly professional.
Fly Sapphire.
Fly Sapphire.
And hello, Dion Rabbit Pants.
Yeah, so everyone is crushing on me about not answering my DMs or anything.
He doesn't. He doesn't. He sucks so bad at answering anything.
And Daniel says yes. The mic picked up the sound of me going.
Still looks like a silver dildo, though.
It does, but hey. Okay, all right. Herman asks. Good question from Herman. I don't know if you know this. You're not a long range guy, so you may not even know about this. But okay, so Gun Warrior Chassis.
I don't.
Not the question for Bryan to answer, but that's a question for Max Rossi to answer.
Yes.
I need to get Max on the show.
You do.
By the way, Max liked it. From what if I recall speaking to him about it, that's the feedback I can give. Decent chassis.
But can I say one thing to Herman? Is that Bryan's opinion is just Bryan's opinion. Right? Bryan is fundamentally a person who breaks shit fairly quickly. So Bryan likes reliable stuff. Bryan has had the opportunity to test stuff in some fairly extreme environments. And to put my life on things, I'm so sick and tired of talking third person. But ultimately, it is my opinion. That's all it is. If another solution works for you, explore your solution. Don't get hidebound into some freaking twat who tells you that only Sig Sauer or only Glock or only Smith & Wesson will work for you. You've got to work what you've got to work. So, again, on the Gun Warrior chassis, my eyes suck. I can't shoot that far. I'm a shotgun guy. I'm up close and personal, right? But, Max is a good person to speak to on that. But ultimately, it's going to be Max's opinion too. Okay, next question.
Okay, Jason Grant Ratner says as soon as he can open his restaurant and earn money, he will buy a Saga. So please tell us which restaurant this is.
Which restaurant?
Because
we'll support that restaurant.
We'll support this restaurant so you can get your Saga.
Yes.
Beth's Eleutheria, subscribe to her, please. She was.
Of course, you were impressed.
So if all goes well,
Eleutheria, she has to put in the extra U. Come on, Beth.
So if all goes well, guys, I will shave. I'll put on a nice jacket that has my bars on my sleeves, and I can do the whole airline captain announcement, super professional for Fly Sapphire, hopefully in the near future. But I'll just go on record again because I chose to work there this was before lockdown. They're going to pay me slightly less than I earned
I've
at
got to
Mango.
go just now, so give me one more
Yeah.
minute. Right,
You
you can
go,
plug
you
just
go.
now because I'm going to go.
I'll plug now.
Aside from his waffle about airplanes, go and get yourself some really good training. Here are the people who I train with: Wild Medics, Walt Mayer. Okay, go and do. Not only can he balance the whole medical thing, the stop the bleed. Absolutely, go and do it. I've done about 3 of those. I've sent my kids on those courses. They loved it. They really, really, really loved it. I get it for my company. My colleagues go and do it. They love it as well. Okay. Do the stop the bleed. It's awesome. But go and do his other courses as well. Get proficient. He understands guns and the tactics and all of that. And he understands it in a way that other providers may not. Okay. Go and buy from CHS Guns. You can see it there on Gideon City. Okay. So go and look at them. Right.
Sorry,
go and train with Honor Bolo.
There you go.
There we go. Go and train with Honor Bolo. It will be a mind-changing experience. And go and fly Sapphire. And I've got to run. Thank you all very much. It's been awesome. Go. And we'll chat later.
I'll monologue with them to finish. Cheers, Bryan. Great having you. Bye. Okay. All right, guys. So there's Jason's restaurant. It's French Connection Bistro in Franschhoek. And my last plug for Sapphire, the deal was I was going to earn a fair amount less money flying for them than I would be earning at Mango, but it wasn't an issue for me. I really liked what I saw from them. I really liked the way they treated their people, the professionalism of their setup, and it was a no-brainer for me to move across there. Unfortunately, holding pattern because, I got in with them and was about to get a start date literally the week before lockdown, and it didn't work out because of the economic implications, but they're a decent bunch of people. They've been speaking to me every week or every 2 weeks to find out if I'm okay, to find out if I'm still interested. So I've never been treated this well by a potential employer that I haven't actually been employed with yet. So I can definitely say, even if I don't end up flying for them, it's a company you can support. They're great folks. They're highly professional, good people. Anton, the announcement I wanted to make is the fact that the Paratus small business database network, whatever you want to call it, is now live on the paratus.info website. The people that have been slightly late in submitting their businesses, I will add you because the cool thing is it's a living database. So even if you came late to the party, I can still put your business on there with the logo, the website, contact details. That's all I need. So you can send your stuff to me. There's my email address, and I will put your business on there because right now is the time for people to support each other's businesses, to stand together, to try and build a way forward outside of government control, and to try and support the shops that matter and not the big corporates that didn't stand up for us when it mattered, when we were going through a really tough time. And, the British American Tobaccos, the Take-A-Lots, all of them took a back seat, and the little guys had to fight for freedom to come back. And that's exactly what happened. Dear South Africa got us e-commerce back, and a whole bunch of other people that don't even get the limelight worked really hard behind the scenes to make sure that happened, funded the effort, all the good stuff. So there's that. Beth says she'll tell me about what happened with the Fly in December that impressed me one day. Okay, I'll look forward to this conversation, and I'm hoping to get Beth on the stream soon so we can chat about women and guns again, and self-defense and private defense and all the good stuff, and homeschooling. Beth is a big-time homeschooling advocate, if I could call you that, because activist just sounds lame. And Beth does great work, and she's got her stuff together, and just subscribe to her channel. It's worth your while. She does great stuff. Heine, excellent. I'm not even going to try to pronounce that. I'm way too many whiskeys deep, and I'm not going to pronounce it at all. Okay, Dean likes it. Thank you, dude. Like, my developer has asked me to give feedback. If there are any criticisms, any issues, please tell me so I can tell them to fix it. And the sooner I tell them to fix it, the more they're going to do for free, because they don't have to pay them more money and they can fix it. So, Steve, dude, I hope so as well. The whole thing with this is I want networking opportunities to happen. I want small, medium enterprises to get exposure. I want to make it bigger. I want to expand it. I'm not going to charge people for this. At some point, I might say, if you would like to contribute to me for hosting it voluntarily, you can. I'll make my details available, and people can contribute towards the upkeep, towards Paratus, towards me. But I'm not going to. I understand that times are tough and people can't afford to pay for stuff necessary. Every 100 Rand that's available is 100 Rand that could be spent feeding a family right now. So I'm not going to ask people to pay me for hosting. This is not something that I'm doing to try and make money out of it. Herman, do I think hunters will be allowed to fly? Sacks used to be a big thing for hunters to fly with. Link, I believe as well. SA Airlink is possibly your way to go. Sapphire, unfortunately, don't fly firearms. Mango doesn't either. So hunters will probably have to rely on what they previously did. Look, the lockdown regulations are unconstitutional. There's a lot of bullshit going on right now that the government keeps appealing to my frustration, in the sense that they know they're wrong, but they're addicted to power and they're drunk on it, and they just keep doubling down. Alan, what would you like to know, sir? I missed I missed what you're referring to, and I would love to answer this question. Daniel Gideon, who would you refer to do gun competition with when the sheep will wake up? Well, it depends where you are. So if you're Cape Town based, there's a whole bunch of potential options. I did a lot of my stuff through False Bay Training Academy. They're at False Bay Sports Shooting Club in Fishook. They're really good. Gordon's Bay Security does excellent work, as well as Morena McCelm in Somerset West. Those two are places I would start if you're on that side of town. As to the north, I'm not 100% sure. If anyone's got recommendations, please just make me aware of it, and then I can try and give some advice, or some pointers. Peterson, I agree. Support the little businesses that helped and stood up for us. The big businesses just obeyed the rotten government. And unfortunately, that's true. Big corporates have thrown us all under the bus to some extent. And unfortunately, that is going to come and bite them in the bum in a big way. Nkosazana's ego can't handle being told no. Exactly. She's on that spectrum of cluster B personality disorder, or she's just entirely malicious and stupid, whatever you want to do. So my final thoughts, guys. It's been an awesome Whisky Friday. Bryan had to go. I'll put the Zapper thing up as we end things, but for now, Ronnie, whatever you want to call it, I'm busy doing a review on this chassis. It'll hopefully... Goodness, I'm going to be taking high-res photos of this with my professional camera over the weekend, and I'll probably do a video to demonstrate how easy it is to fit a pistol into this when I haven't had whiskey in me, and it's safe to do so and responsible. And I will publish that on the Paratus YouTube page. Legally I'm Stone Boss. There you go. There's another place you can do competency training with, and they're very good people. It's Neville Coatstall, I believe, if you're still involved there. Good people. So I'm going to be doing a review on one of these. If you want one, you can get one at CHS Guns and Ammo. I think they retail for just over 4,100 Rand. And there is actually a reason to own them. So for now, on this Saturday afternoon, go get your bra fires going. There's the Zapper code. If you want to feed my alcohol habit, let me just do the finger thing. Boom, there we go. If you want to buy whiskey for Gideon and Bryan, you can scan that. And thank you to everyone that has done so today. You've been great. It's been wonderful, wonderful, wonderful chatting to you all. And two more things. My wife has an application in with CFR now that is now past 90. Should one add extra days for 90 days still stands. The cops are just really not efficient, but do carry on bugging them and bat on. Russell, when is the merch coming? Hopefully next week. Got good news on the merch, the availability, all that stuff. The hoodies are still a bit of a challenge because the factory that manufactures the garments locally wasn't essential, but we're busy addressing that challenge. And Ramon did really well with his GIMP masks. He sold about 15,000 Rands worth of them in 2 days. I would love to have his problem because now they're having teething problems with distribution. But the cool thing is they would have had that figured out by the time my merch goes on sale, so then they'll know. It is indeed Friday, Jason. So we're going to be doing Whisky Friday again. And Graham, that is indeed it's not a micro now. I think it's just a normal one, but it's a Generation 4. So if you rewind, you'll see me talking about it slightly earlier. Cheers, everybody. Have a great weekend. Thanks for tuning in. See you soon, and stay safe, stay sane, and drink good whiskey. Cheerio.